It is a great honor to be up here. Every year when I have to get up and say something at this point at the banquet, I'm usually in tears. I probably will be again. This year it's not because I've been drinking, because I'm still sick. Okay, so I'm here to present the Friend of the Colorado Wine Industry Award. Here's a quiz to start with. What does the recipient of this year's award have in common with the American bison, Stegosaurus, Apollo moon suits, Lewis's compass, Salt's polio vaccine, Bell's telephone, Louis Armstrong's trumpet, Lincoln's top hat, and R2-D2?
100 objects in America.
Yes, 101 objects that made America. As I mentioned earlier this afternoon when I introduced Warren, for those of you who were at the RMABB meeting years ago with Dr. Gerald Ivancy, he told a story about how he met a young man at UC Davis and asked him to come make wine at Ivancy's new winery in Denver, 68. And the gentleman had to leave his position as the winemaker at Robert Mondavi Winery, who was in the process of transforming California wine on his own then. And he made wine in Dr. Ivancy's Quonset hut, I understand, in Denver. Warren was recruiting and sorting grapes, selecting grapes in California to have wine made here because there weren't any grapes planted in Colorado at the time. So part of the process, Warren and Dr. Ivancy were encouraging growers over here to consider planting grapes. And this was even before the Four Corners Project started. So they were really ahead of their time in getting people to consider grapes, and they were also, I think, instrumental in involving CSU in some of those plantings. Warren was born in Chicago, Illinois. He started at the University of Chicago, then left to attend Colorado A&M. Don't want to date you with that name, but yes, for those of us who didn't know, that's CSU now. He left CSU to go to St. John's College in Maryland because he realized he had to learn to read books. Reading books was important. He graduated from St. John's and then returned to the University of Chicago, where his study of Machiavelli, only a great winemaker would study Machiavelli before making wine. But his study of Machiavelli took him to Italy, where he discovered that he really wanted to be a winemaker. So he apprenticed at Souverain Winery and then moved to Robert Mondavi, and when he met Dr. Ivancy, all his history here in Colorado. I think what is wonderful and significant, by the way, I have to say, Wikipedia is great, because not only did I get a lot of information about Warren, but it also reminded Warren that this will be his 60th wedding anniversary this year to Barbara, whom he met at St. John's, I believe, wasn't it? So, congratulations. If you don't know the story, in 1970, Warren started, he and some investors were replanting a prune orchard to grapes in Napa Valley, and they called this place a little thing called Stag's Leap Wine Cellars. And he made an incredible Cabernet Sauvignon in 1973. A few years later, he gets a phone call, and apparently this wine had won the Judgment of Paris. This was perhaps one of the biggest, no, it is the biggest event in American wine history that put California and the U.S. on the wine map. So, yes, Warren cut his teeth here, but he went on to win the Judgment of Paris. Since that time, he's also helped create the Napa Valley Ag Preserve and has worked to preserve open space and quality of life in Napa Valley. He was the first, he placed the original Stag's Leap Vineyard under a conservation easement that was the first in Napa County. And Warren's story is now part of the Statue of Liberty at Ellis Island National Park's Peopling of America Center, as his family was of Polish descent immigrating to Chicago. And it is a great honor and a great privilege. You know, we say that all the time. I cannot say enough about what a wonderful experience it has been getting to know you, Warren. And we are so honored that you keep coming back to judge the Governor's Cup year after year, that you share with us your wisdom. I have to say, I have had conversations with this man where we talk about Plato, we talk about Shakespeare, and we talk about irrigation management, frequently in the same conversation. It's hard to keep up with Warren. Thank you very much. You are a great, great friend to the Colorado wine industry. Mr. Warren Winiarski.
Thank you, Doug, for that wonderful introduction. We're active in all respects. I didn't do that to acknowledge all the nice things you said about me, just the facts. I wonder, that dance that we saw tonight, very energetic, very expressive. I wondered, could it be that the French winemakers, after the Paris tasting, they did a dance like that to celebrate the event?
Yes, I did.
So, I have to acknowledge how much chance was in all the things that happened. I have to think that without just good luck, many of the peripheral and seemingly chanceful things were really chanceful, and my history would have been different had they not been all there for me to pick up and use. But one thing that was not chance was the spirit that Dr. Ivan C. had, and I have to acknowledge how much vision and dreaming. And I thought that was a wonderful thing that one of your awardees said about his being able to dream, to share the dreams of the people for whom he does research and consultation, that they dream, he was able to dream with them. And I think that's the key, for you all to dream great things about Colorado, because there are great things here. And so you're working on a wonderful, beautiful material, and your dreams should go to the sky. Thank you.
We also have for Warren a signed copy of The Winelands of Colorado, Mark Haberman's beautiful book. It's also signed by the winemakers that are included. So thanks to Cave and Mark. And Warren, it is such a privilege and an honor, and I can't say that enough. Thank you all for the opportunity to be here, Rob. I appreciate it.